Hi and welcome to txtNationTV. This week there's not a lot of news going on, so we'll tell you about just a little bit about Seagate, a little bit about Apple, a little about
HP.
We'll see how it goes. All right, so this week, like I said, it's a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Not much of the big news going on, but it looks like Seagate is taking and purchasing LaCie. And if you don't know anything about that, LaCie is a hard drive maker that makes some of those high-end hard drives that have Thunderbolt on them. They do the LaCie. As a matter of fact, I have a LaCie hard drive here behind me, encased in aluminium, as the British would say. But you know, they do the nice hard drives, but usually, and I read a story earlier today that was saying it's pretty much a Seagate hard drive inside of a LaCie case, so it's still Seagate, you know.
Well, it would be like Apple buying Microsoft.
Well, I don't think so.
Windows would be inside, but the design would be
right.
Apple.
Yeah.
So LaCie's designs look a whole lot better than Seagate because it was just, you know, Seagate was just, hey, here it is.
The price is $186 million, so that's pretty crazy. That's a lot of money there to be thrown down on the table, and you know that's just making the hard drive industry a lot smaller as it is now. Because I mean, you've only got Seagate, Toshiba, LaCie, Western Digital.
Yeah.
I mean, you've only got so many, so it's just making the hard drive industry a little bit smaller. So you know, I don't know.
Well, with cloud storage and everything, what we needed hard drives for back in the day was, I don't know where I'm going with this, but like a family now can use the cloud storage fine for photos and a little bit of music and things like that. You know, they don't need what we needed back then when we were, you know, burning MP3s and everything like that.
Yeah, making those custom CDs and stuff like that.
We needed terabyte storage, you know, for all that.
Yeah,
so hard drives are now going to be pretty much people that buy PC towers.
Yeah.
You know, kind of.
Well, and LaCie's more of the external drive as well. They're not so much the internal drive, where Seagate is more the internal drive.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have very many. I don't think they have as many as LaCie. I may be wrong. I could be totally wrong on that, but my understanding is LaCie has a lot more external drives and things like that, because they were one of the ones that partner with IBM and Apple for the Thunderbolt to have and actually Thunderbolt's actually going to start coming in the next month or so. Actually, going to start coming to some of the the motherboards, Asus, and I want to say Asus, and I cannot remember the other one. But there's two motherboards about to come out that's going to have it standard now, so that you can drop in your Thunderbolt and totally whoop USB 3.0. So that'll be really cool. Here's to you, LaCie and Seagate. I hope that everything works out well and you guys last a really long time. So we'll see what happens. Other news this week, though, real short about Apple. If you know anything about the Apple videos, all the design videos, and when they do launch videos and things like that, and they're showing all the engineers and how they were, we spent so much time and blah, 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 you'll usually see Jonathan Ive, or Johnny Ive, as Steve, I believe, called him.
Yeah.
But Johnny Ive is the gentleman that is behind most of the designs at Apple. He's been there since 1992. He kind of had a resurgence around 97 when Steve came back, because he was actually about to quit in 97 because he didn't feel that the designers were...
Well, it was terrible.
I mean, this is before
it was basically just a beige box. That's all Apple was, just a beige cube.
Exactly. Another, PC on the market that nobody really cared what it looked like. So Steve came back in and said, we need to hone it down. We need to get rid of the 15 products that we have. We need to get it down to one. And this is what we need to do. And so then you'll remember the clamshell laptops that had the 5 colors.
Yeah, the iMac.
Yep, the iMac. Then you remember the huge CRT monitors that had different colors with the handle on it.
Yeah,
most of that
was aquariums, basically.
They pretty much are now. But Johnny Ive is pretty much the design master behind that. The iPod. There's some debacle about how the iPod design was come about. There were some history, different things about it. So I'm not going to get into arguments about that. But
he's now Sir.
Yeah.
Johnny Ive.
Yeah, he got knighted the other day over in London, and he is now among the names of Elton John and I believe somebody else. Who else is a Sir that is big name? Bee
Sir,
Gees.
Paul McCartney.
Paul McCartney, not Bee Gees. I'm sorry.
Well, one of the Gibb brothers did pass away here recently. If you care about disco at all.
But Paul McCartney, Paul McCartney, Elton John, and now Johnny Ive. So
I'm sure there's more.
Yeah, there's probably a whole lot more, but just somebody that you would know from a public lifestyle. So yeah, just if you wanted to know, Johnny Ive was knighted, so that was something neat to see. The funny thing is, they interviewed him shortly after this, and if you know anything about the new iOS updates and the Find My Friends app, you'll see that leather stitching on the outside and also on iCal.
Mm-hmm.
This is funny. I got this from Ars Technica. It says, don't like the stitched leather UI in a number of the Apple's iOS applications, like Find My Friends, Maps, or iCal? Guess who doesn't either? Johnny Ive. They said, the Telegraph claims that I winced, quote, unquote, when asked about the stitching leather, but gave a diplomatic response. Quote from Johnny, my focus is very much working with the other teams on the product ideas and then developing the hardware so that that's our focus and our responsibility. In terms of the elements that you were talking about, I'm not connected to that. So, I mean, really straightforward, nice guy, typical, corporate answer.
Yeah.
He's still going to support his business and his team, so that's good. The guy seems, like he'd be a nice guy if you knew him personally. I've seen some interviews that tried to be, hey, there's Johnny Ive, let's see if we can talk to Johnny Ive, and he just kind of, walked right on past him because, so, it's just kind of neat to see that. So, good for him. That's something neat. Bad news, though, this past week. HP, and I'm going to slide in another sucker punch at BlackBerry because BlackBerry also lost some people, but HP in particular just lost,
27,000.
Yeah, 27,000 people, and they're having to trim off about 31% for their profits and stuff. So, I find it kind of hard to believe because the last 2 laptops I've had have been HP. And HP still makes a good laptop.
Mm-hmm.
We actually just talked about for our Ultrabooks, the HP Envy Spectre or HP
Spectre 13 or something like that.
Something like that, yeah. So they still make a good, consumer product as far as laptops are concerned. I don't know so much on the desktop side. I know they have that standalone thing.
Well, I'm sure like every business now, they use this word called streamlining.
Right.
Which means get rid of, your extra people that you think you don't need. And I'm sure the shareholders, the shares going down, so they're, knocking up, hey, what are you going to do about this? And they got to fire people.
Yeah, they're probably looking at projects or going, all right, what does this project do?
It's not worth it. Get rid of it.
Yeah.
It's just business.
Yeah. So, unfortunately, a lot of people are going to lose their jobs, which is, sad to say. Which I would like to say, Nashville, Tennessee, just a few weeks ago was announced as number 10 in the top 10 cities in the entire United States for tech jobs. So, if you were looking for somewhere to come work, I don't know because I can't find it because I'm looking for one.
Well, if you read it a little bit more, it said we're number 10 in startups.
Right.
Not people actually hiring,
right,
but people starting up businesses. We have a huge entrepreneurial community here.
Oh,
but
yes.
They haven't built a building and sent out applications.
Well, either way, Nashville's number 10 on that list for the entire United States, so I thought that was pretty cool.
At least we're a little speck in the tech community in Nashville.
Yeah, we're on the forefront, as it were.
Like a crumb that can be flicked off the table.
And for the last bit of news for this past week, Facebook. Obviously, Facebook's been all over the news for the IPO. Zuckerberg's wedding. After 9 years of being with his girlfriend, married her the next day.
What the big deal that was.
Yeah, and then Facebook fell down the first day. Facebook fell down the second day. I'm pretty sure Facebook fell down again the third day, which is kind of like...
we saw it coming.
Yeah, duh. We knew about that. But the story that we wanted to talk about, and you and I were talking about this beforehand off camera, Facebook has just released Facebook Camera for the iOS, iPod, iPhone, iPad.
Very imaginative name they have there.
Yeah. So the idea is Facebook just bought Instagram shortly before the IPO. Facebook Camera looks very similar to Instagram. Wonder why. But the thing is, it's a separate app.
Yes.
And this is driving me nuts. And this is what I was telling you beforehand. I have an app for Facebook which does everything.
Yep.
It doesn't do everything well, but it does everything. And I think this is the reason why they do this. So now they separated out Messenger. So you have Facebook Messenger outside of the Facebook app. That was the first thing that they separated. They said, oh, well, now it's better because you can do stuff and you can actually chat.
Yeah.
It's great. Then they separated out Pages, which just came out earlier this week. Now you can admin your Facebook pages. For me, it's txtNationTV and my other podcasts as well. And then also I do another friend of mine's construction business. So I have 3 or 4 pages that I can admin and do different things with. But now you have an app for that. And then they announced Camera app. You're taking everything out of the Facebook app and turn it into separate apps. What are they doing?
I think they're trying to develop an OS.
Okay.
I don't know. I kind of see in the future maybe you buying a Facebook tablet.
Or a Facebook phone, because that has been a rumor before.
Or the Facebook phone, so that they can, I think they're developing their own app store right now. It's in the works.
Well, I was going to say, that's another thing. They have already opened the Facebook App Store, and I think it's called Facebook App Store if I'm not mistaken, to get your specific apps for Facebook, but that's on the website of things, as it were, because they have apps for games, which is annoying as all get out.
Yeah.
And I just turn off pretty much every game because I don't do the games on Facebook because they lead to spam, viruses, malware, everything else.
Or just talking to people you really don't want to talk to.
I don't really do the Facebook games thing. And then there's other apps that, here's one app that I did because of my family. There's a family tree app that you can actually get, and you can put your grandmothers, your great-grandmothers, so on, and just kind of trace your lineage, as it were. So that's kind of cool. But, that may be where it's going.
I see some device, whether it's a tablet, a phone, an Ultrabook,
right?
Something that's just run Facebook, instant on Facebook.
Okay, I could see that.
Facebook powered, Facebook cloud.
Yeah. Because right now, you look at the fact that if you remember MySpace and Friendster, you were allowed, 10, 12 pictures, something like that, when they first got started. You weren't allowed a lot of pictures.
Yeah, it was like 6 or 12.
Yeah, and you weren't allowed so much. Then Facebook came out of nowhere, and this was years ago. Facebook announced out of nowhere, unlimited pictures whatsoever, albums, however you want to do it. You can do it and plaster them on there, which was cool. They did limit the picture size to, I think, 1024 by 768, something like that. So it wasn't a real big photo, but you could do the photos. And now they've done the full, you can take the full size. If you have a 14 megapixel, 12 megapixel, 16 megapixel, you can do the full size thing. They'll give you a small preview, but you can do enlarge and watch or see the entire photo. Same thing with videos. You can upload an HD video and get, nobody really uses the video app as far as I'm concerned, because it's not front and center in your profile. You see wall info, photos.
It's not like MySpace. It was, MySpace set up, you could have a video right there, you could have the music player right there.
Yeah.
You pretty much could, what I liked about it, you could pretty much just CSS the whole page. You could pretty much put whatever you wanted. You can cover their page and put your page up.
Yeah, but that kind of led to all those teenagers and kiddies and women and stuff just putting sparkles and blah 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 all over it. That's the reason why Facebook stayed the way it was.
I liked it because I simplified it. I got rid of a lot of that.
Oh yeah, I did too. If you remember mine, I kind of streamed mine line in one big box.
Yeah, it was just a black page.
Yeah, it was great.
A big picture of me. That's all that mattered.
You need an about.me. That's what you need. Check it out, about.me. You can sign up for your own about.me / and then whatever your username is. Check it out.
Rusty just got $5 in the old pocket for that mention.
But anyway, yeah. So I could totally see Facebook. What was the phone that did that lasted maybe a year, 2 years? Well, not. No, the other phone that was like I think it was just a Twitter phone, or it was just a texting phone or something. It was like at the backside of Target for the longest time. Nobody ever bought it.
Was it the one that's about that big?
Yeah, it was really small. I think
Motorola made it.
Yeah, I can't even remember what it was, but
two-way.
It may have been something like that. But that's the thing is, products go in and out so fast. Think of the Microsoft Kin, for crying out loud. That thing lasted for 6 seconds.
Yeah.
It was horrible. So
as long as the Newton.
Yeah. So Facebook in the near and dear future, we're calling it right now. It could be your next Ultrabook, as it were, or your next
operating system.
Yeah, it could be, because
its own language.
By the way, one last rumor that I want to throw in: Google is going to be releasing a Google tablet. specific. Just like the G1, they released the Google phone. Now they're going to be releasing a Google tablet. So, not that there's not enough 100 other tablets out there made by 50 other designers, but that's a whole nother episode about fragmentations. But make sure you follow us online. We've got 6 different places that you can find us. I'm going to start out with txtNation.tv just because, please don't go there. Just go to YouTube. Yeah, tell us about YouTube.
Well, it was a website started up in 1998.
Where can you follow us on YouTube?
YouTube.com/txtNationTV.
You can also follow us online, Twitter.com/txtNationTV. Make sure you follow us there.
Add us as a friend, Facebook.com/txtNationTV.
And then what else do we have? We got TxtNation, YouTube, Google Plus. You can follow us there, gplus.to/txtNationTV. And then the one that he manages that I will never, ever touch.
He's lying. He's been there several times. I can see the traffic. Pin us at pinterest.com/txtNationTV.
Thank you very much for watching episode number 41. We will be back sometime in the near and dear future. It could be next week. It might be next month, all depending on your schedule. But thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you again.